All right, and welcome to Graphing Linear Inequalities, Level 4. Now for example number 1, it wants us to graph this system of linear inequalities. We know it's a system because there are 3 linear inequalities. And the first one that we'll graph is x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So because there's only an x variable, there's no y, we know that we're going to go on the x-axis to negative 2. And we actually want to draw a line that is parallel to the y-axis. So this forces us to draw a vertical line going through that point. And because it says x is greater than or equal to, we know that it should actually be a solid line, and we're going to shade everything to the right. Okay, our next inequality that we want to graph is y is less than negative 3/4 x plus 4. Well, we see here that our y-intercept, the constant, is a positive 4. So I'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And from here, our slope is negative 3 over 4, which means we count down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's our first point. We could do this again. We could count down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be somewhere there. We can add our tick marks in after the fact. And then from here, because it's the less than symbol, we know that we're going to have our dashed line, and we are going to shade everything below. And we can start to see where these two colors are overlapping. Now for our final line, it's in standard form. And let me change it just a little bit. Let's make that a less than or equal to. And what we have to do, let's see, if I do a less than or equal to, yeah, that'll work. What we have to do is we have to get the letter y by itself. So of course we know we're going to get rid of the 4x first by adding 4x to both sides. Now we have 2y is less than or equal to negative 3 plus 4x. Remember, they can't combine. And after we divide everything by 2, notice we're dividing everything by a positive 2, so our inequality stays the same. We'll now have this new inequality. Y is less than or equal to negative 3 over 2 plus 4 divided by 2 is, of course, 2x. And since negative 3 over 2 is actually like negative 1.5, we'll have to come down here halfway in between 1 and 2 for our y-intercept. And of course our slope is positive 2 over 1, so we kind of count it by halves now. So we count it 1, 2, to the right 1, and again by halves, and to the right 1. And now we know it's a solid line, and we are going to shade everything less than, because remember, it does not flip. And we actually find that our triple shaded region, let me go ahead and use an entirely different color. Let's use this nice red. Our triple shaded region actually lies below this line and below that line, and it's really kind of everything down here. And everything in red is going to represent all of our solutions. Okay, well, let's go on to example number 2, where I'm going to address one simple caveat. Okay, here we are in example 2, and we want to graph y is greater than negative 4. So let's go ahead and start this one, keep it in this nice blue color. But here we only see the single variable y. That means that this will actually only cross the y-axis at negative 4. So we can count down on our y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll put our very first point. Now from here, we see that it is the greater than symbol, so we'll go ahead and use our dashed line. And because it's greater than, we can shade everything above. Nice and easy. Okay, let's take a look at our second line. We'll go ahead and do this one in green. But here's the one caveat that I wanted to mention. Sometimes your slope could be given to you as a decimal. So what in the world should we do with this? Well, the rule for converting a decimal to a fraction is to understand what place we're in. So we know that after the decimal point, this is actually the 10th place. So 0.2 is really the same thing as 2 out of 10. All right, 2 out of 10. And of course we know how to reduce this. We know that 2 and 10 can both be divided by 2. And so that reduces to 1 over 5. So when looking at this equation, we know that our slope is really negative 1 over 5 with the x plus 1 if you wanted to rewrite it. Okay, so our positive 1 is our y-intercept. And we're going to go, we have a negative 1 over 5, so we're going to count down 1 and to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put our point. And from here, because it's less than or equal to, we know it's going to be a solid line. Oh, kind of missed my point, but not if I make it larger. And here, it's less than, so we're now going to shade everything below the line. Okay, let's bring it on back to this final piece. Here we have negative 3x minus 6y is greater than 12. Of course, we want to get the y by itself in order to graph it. So we know that we move our x term first. We'll add 3x to both sides. That zeroes out. Now we have minus 6y is greater than 12 plus 3x because they cannot combine. And of course, we'll divide everything by negative 6. But there's a problem. Wait, we just divided everything by a negative. Does that do anything special? And if you said it flips our inequality, you are absolutely correct. So instead of this being a greater than symbol, it should be a less than symbol. And now we can just reduce everything. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2, and positive 3 over negative 6, we can divide both of these, the top and bottom, by 3. 3 divided by 3 will, of course, give us negative 1 over 6 divided by 3 is 2x. And let's go ahead and graph that. So we're going to say, all right, we are down here at negative 2. And we have a negative slope of 1 over 2. So we'll count down 1 and to the right 2. We even go down 1 and to the right 2 again. And we say, well, you know what? This has a less than symbol. So it's going to be a dashed line. And then from there, it's less than, so we're going to shade below this line as well. And what we can see here, if we really highlight this, our triple shaded region is below this dashed line, and it's above this dashed line. And so it looks like our triple shaded region will only exist really and truly between these two lines. All right? Well, I hope this helps, and I will see y'all in our next video series. Thank you so much.